So, good afternoon. It's afternoon where I'm standing. In freezing Britain in November. But so this is Watchtower, Why Hated G. The Trinity. Now the reason I'm mentioning this because I have mentioned it a number of times, but it's split up in some of my other videos that I'll just highlight again at the end of this brief video. And also a point that I try to make to people is, well, how do you have a relationship with a God that's a mystery? You know, who am I talking to? The Father, the Son, who is it? But I found something really interesting by a Hebrew scholar who was a Christian. So, but first of all, if you're asking a question like this, these are the people to ask, you see. Well, if it's Jehovah's Witnesses, is God a Trinity? So this is on their jw.org website, and they say this. Many Christian denominations teach that God is a Trinity. However, note what the Encyclopedia Britannica states. Neither the word Trinity nor the explicit doctrine appears in the New Testament. The doctrine developed gradually over several centuries and through many controversies. So that's what they say. And then they say, in fact, the God of the Bible is never described as being a Trinity. And then it quotes that God is one God, Deuteronomy. And it talks about God having a personal name. So that's the argument that Jehovah's Witnesses make about God and why. Because if you're going to get to know someone, the first thing you say, my name is Gaz, or in your case, if you talked about someone and say, my name's Mr. or Mrs., then it's much more formal, isn't it? But what I discovered on the internet just a week ago was a person, a Hebrew scholar. He's become a Hebrew scholar, but he was a kind of a devoted Christian, Zachery Smith. He's now a kind of a Jew, obviously, Orthodox Jew. And he has made a point on his video, so I'm just going to relate it. It says here, God is not a man. Now in Numbers 23 verse 19, he's referring to a Hebrew direct translation to English, which says this: God is not human, that he should lie, not a human being, that he should change his mind. Does he speak and then not act? Does he promise and not fulfill? So the point he's making there is that he's making it clear that he doesn't change his mind. He doesn't say, well, I'm a Jewish God this century, and then a few centuries into the future, I'll become a part of me will become a Christian God. Deuteronomy 4 verse 15. You saw no form of any kind the day the Lord spoke to you at Horeb out of the fire, because Moses met the burning fire, didn't he? So it says, therefore watch yourselves very carefully so that you do not become corrupt and make for yourselves an idol, an image of any shape, whether formed like a man or a woman. So that's taken from their Bible, Deuteronomy 4:15. And then Hosea 11 verse 9, he says, I will not execute the fierceness of mine anger. I will not return to destroy Ephraim, for I am God and not a man, the Holy One in the midst of thee, and I will not enter into the city. So he's saying, I'm a God and not a man, and he doesn't change his mind. And he says, I'm not in the form of a... Now obviously Trinitarians have all sorts of arguments, but I make some points which I've received objective comments from Christians on this channel, because I've talked about God and kind of ridiculed the Trinity, because I'm saying, well, he's got a split personality, you know. One day he's the Father, the next he's the Son, and then he's a peeping Son, a peeping Tom, Holy Spirit God. So but that can be found in my videos, Jehovah's Witnesses, Why Hated. One is a famous one you see all the time, but if you've got two, it's about the name So video 2, and the next one is about cults. So that talks about the Trinity and Jesus's, the way the personality between the two are displayed. So that's where you'll find that. Thank you once again.